They settled on a low wall by the beach huts in West Bay. Up above them, in a cloudless sky, shitehawks wheeled and called in search of scraps, and before them the waves rolled lazily in and out again. The boy offered the girl a ready salted crisp, which she declined, along with the gobstopper he'd bought for dessert. This was it. Love. He remembered something his dad had told him the day he ran off with big Mavis Butterworth from 3 doors down. He said, "Listen, tadpole, if you want something in this world, you have to take it, and cobblers to anyone who tells you otherwise." "Do you know any good songs?" the boy said. "Some," the girl said, kicking the ground with the toe of her K-skip shoe. Earlier that morning, the boy had heard Tony Blackburn on the radio. He said that people who listened to Stevie Wonder were too cool for school. "I like Stevie Wonder," he said. "Which songs?" she asked. He racked his brains, but the only song he could think of was Lily the Pink, and that was by the Scaffold. "All of them," he said. Her eyes were as dark as the OXO cubes his mum used to make Sunday gravy. But it was her mouth that made him weak at the knees. Her lips were the same colour as the penny shrimp sweets Mr. McKellar sold over the counter at the Lymington Road stores, except her lips were more inviting. "Does your friend George smoke?" she asked. "George? Nah, too scared," he said. "My friend Louise said she saw George smoking. She said he takes it down." "I'd take it down," he snorted. And then he gave her a wink. His dad had told him that girls love a man who can wink. The girl looked as though she thought he had a gnat flown into his eye. "I've got to go now," she said. "Oh, what about a joke?" he said, just as the sun disappeared behind a dirty great cloud. "I don't like jokes," she said. "Who wrote The Cloakroom Attendant?" he said. "I don't know," she asked. "Angus McCotup," he snorted. And a bubble of snot, twice the size of the gobstopper in his pocket, ballooned out of his left nostril. The girl looked as if she were about to be sick, and she quietly turned to walk away. But then he remembered something else his dad had told him. "Listen, tadpole," he said, "if you want to impress a girl, recite a bit of poetry. They love a bit of all that." So he shouted, "I know a poem!" And she stopped and turned. "Shakespeare was a man of wit," he said. "And on his shirt, he had some shit." And the shitehawks ceased their calling, and the waves paused their rolling in and their rolling out. And you could have heard a jellyfish whisper sweet nothings to the one it loved. And slowly, so slowly, a half smile rippled across the girl's penny shrimp lips, and the shitehawks picked up where they'd left off, and the waves commenced their rolling in and their rolling out, and the sun muscled its way out from behind the dirty great cloud and bathed the bay and the boy and the girl in warm light.